Hi guys, so this is a section 4.4 prototype. So in the previous videos, we explored the data. So we've identified the trends and patterns in the data, and we have our script to visualize those patterns and trends, right? So we're ready to create a Shiny app. However, we need to start with a prototype, a very simple one, as simple as possible, right? And also, we need to start with a sketch. So on the left, I apologize for the ugly diagram here, but I nonetheless decided to do it because I wanted to emphasize that you need to start with a blueprint, right, before you dive in. So on the left, we have the sketch of the front end of the app, the UI, right? So you can see that there are three rows. The first row at the top, we're going to have an input function. And then in the middle row, we have the three tables. And at the bottom, we have another row for the plot, for one plot. And server side, we have a reactive expression here. So you can see that there is only one input, product code, right? So the user selects a product, and there are four outputs, table one, table two, table three, and the plot. And there are two intermediate inputs. The selected is the first intermediate input, right? So user selects a product type or product code, then that filters for uh, the injuries that are associated with that selected product. So that's a selected reactive value, right? And that is an input for three tables, and also an input, intermediate input for the summary reactive value, which is in turn an intermediate input for the plot, right? So one input, four outputs, two intermediate inputs, reactive values. All right. So let's do this in our studio. All right. So we are going to use this. We're going to save as app 4.4. So select all, delete Shiny app. And we're going to say 4.4 prototype. And we're going to need a tidyverse package as well. And we're going to import data. And so the importing functions, we can use this. So we don't need to print, no need to print, no need to print. So those are the functions to import data. And then on the UI side, remember that we need three rows. So we're going to use fluid row function and column function to divide. So remember, the screen has 12 columns. So if we are going to have three tables of equal length, then each table should be four columns wide. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have fluid row function. We need three of them, right? And each one, we're gonna use column function to specify the width. So the user use six columns on the left for what the input function, the row at the top row, right? So we're gonna use select input. So select input has three mandatory arguments: input ID, label, and choices. And remember, um, in Explorer data, when we create this selected, we use product code, right? Product code. So if you look at the products data file, so product code is ID number, the code, unique code um, for products here, right? So we have code and title. They refer to the same thing. It's just title is a string and code is numbers, right? And in the code, we use, in data exploration, our script here, we use product code variable in the filter function. Okay. So input ID, we're going to put code. That's what the other use. For the label product, and here we're supposed to use uh, product code. So product code prod underscore code. So if we were to use, so product and then code, then if we run this, it's code. I mean, we don't know what these code refer to, what product it refers to. We don't know, right? So what we want to do is, even though product code variable is used in the R script, right, in the back end, that's what that's the variable we're going to use in the code in the server function. Okay, but on the UI, on the front end, what the user sees shouldn't be this code. It should be title, right? This title. So what we can do is we can use the product code, but we can name each of these code using the title. So the function that we can use for that is a set name function. So this is what it is: set names, and the product code is what we want to name. The names come from this title variable. Okay, so that is uh, name product code using product title. So that's what we're doing here. And so product codes. Yeah, so product codes. Oh, with the S right there. It's put in the rectangle. So let's reload. Right now it's title. Okay, and this is what the user sees on the front end, but it should still be this product code in the function in the back end. Okay. All right. So now we're done with the top row. So in the middle row, we're gonna have three tables of equal width. Okay. So for that, it'll be column uh, 4, and then another column of 4, another column of 4. Okay. So altogether, there'll be 12 columns. Okay. And now we need table output. So table output and output ID. We name it in terms of, so we have um, location, body part, diagnosis tables. Okay. So we can put location. So let's name that location, that table, right? And then table output, uh, body part, table diagnosis. All right. And the bottom row, we're gonna have this one. Let's make the entire width, and maybe we don't need another row there. For this plot output, and what did he name it? Age on the line 6. All right. So let's reload to be sure that there's no errors, no issues. All right. We don't see any output yet because we still need to put in the code for the server, the backend. Um, but we see no errors, no indication of errors, so that's a good sign. So now let's work on the server. So again, we're going to borrow the functions. So let's close this outline. We're going to use, the R script in the data exploration file. Okay. So remember, we need a selected reactive value and summary reactive value. And summary reactive value uses a selected reactive value as an input, right? Okay. So here, um, selected reactive value. And then what? Uh, create 3 tables, and then create what? Summary reactive value, and then plot, right? So selected, or we can borrow the code from here. Selected, right? However, we need to put this in reactive value. So let's use this code from the data exploration as the basis. So selected, reactive, and then we can put this whole thing in here, right? It's just that 649 here is a variable, right? So the user can choose different products. So this should be input and what? Code, right? So input ID is code, right? So we can delete that code. So yep. Now we need three tables, right? So we can start with output, and the first one is location, right? Location, and the pairing function for table output is render table, right? And the code here is this. Remember that? So let's see. We can put that in here, but it gets really long, right? So uh, if we want to put the code in multiple lines, we need curly bracket and then put the code in here, right? So location, location. I think everything looks good. So let's run it, see what happens. No applicable, and so Apple location, that's a problem. Remember, we need to read from the bottom, right? Apple location is a problem. And a render table R34. So line 34 is right here. Oh, yeah, it's reactive value, right? We need the parentheses. There you go. So when we select different product, yes, the table updates. Very good, very good. So we need, there you go. Yeah, so it takes up first four columns on the left, right? So we need two more tables here, right? All right, okay. So we need two more of these functions, right? So now instead of location, it's body part, body part. So we need to change the ID and also the variable here, right? And the third table is diagnosis. So change the ID and the variable that happen to be the same, right? All right, so I think everything looks good. Let's run app. Right, so it's table shows up in vertical line. That's because it doesn't have enough space. So, oops. Oh no. All right, so let me run the app again. There you go. So I have three three columns, three tables in three columns, and see if all updates. Yeah, looks like they all update. So looking good so far. So table's done. Now we need a plot. So we need a summary reactive value, right? So we need a rate. So this is the code for summary, right? So that's the code we're going to use. But remember, the summary will be a reactive value, and the selected is also reactive value, right? So again, we're going to use this code as the basis. So summary, reactive value, reactive, and we're going to run multiple lines of code. So curly bracket, right? And we're going to need this code. And remember, selected is reactive value, and therefore you need the parentheses. Now we don't need that. And plot, again, we need this code, but we need to start with output ID. Remember that? Output. and was age and sex, and then render plot, curly bracket because we're running it in multiple lines, right? And remember, summary is reactive value, and therefore put parentheses, um, right? Yeah, I guess I think everything looks good. So let's run. Here you go. So let's select toilet to see whether, yep, it's the same plot. Okay, great. So this is it for section 4.4, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.